Man, what is up, Cowboys Nation? Hope you're having a good weekend winding down on a Sunday. I had a good weekend. I've been home chilling by myself today. Story behind that, my wife went to go see her mom and took the kids. So getting kids off to college and doing all that stuff. So they did that. I hung out at the house, take care of the dogs, take care of the crib, get a chance to catch up on some stuff. Did a great shout out to Cowboys Can Fan. They were running the live training camp practice today. So sat and watched that for a little bit, just killing time. Went in the pool, did a little yard work. Went to the Hard Rock yesterday. Didn't have the best time on the table, but had a good time in the pool and the cabanas and all that kind of good stuff, enjoying some family time. Saw Uncle Cheech out there. So everyone's getting in mid-season form. So all you guys, man, hopefully everything's going well. Just wanted to drop a quick video, get your guys' thoughts on training camp, where things are going, how you see things happening. You getting excited for these Cowboys, or you still need to see a little bit more? So hopefully you guys are getting an opportunity to see some stuff. Obviously, it's out there, and with all the social media videos and clips and all that kind of good stuff. But if you are rolling in, as I'm kind of babbling on, getting things going, let me get this thing right and make sure you guys do hit that like, do hit that subscribe and share. Definitely appreciate it as you guys are rolling in. There we go. We find it. I'm a little rusty here. I don't really do Sunday afternoon and evening shows. Greg and I usually do the Sunday pregame show, and we'll be getting back to doing that and in due time. So definitely love hanging with you guys. Want to get some thoughts, see some people rolling in the chat. What's up, Rick? What's up, Vince? Appreciate it. You guys are all starting to roll in. So showing your boy a little bit of love, and definitely appreciate it. I don't know if you guys saw first things first. I saw Machado, put a couple tweets out there. Stephen Jones, one of our favorites, out there yapping and talking about Eazy-E. And absolutely, I think he's going to be the steal of the draft for us. He's as good as advertised, even better in the early showings that you've seen. And again, it's practice, so I'm not going to get all crazy and label him an all-pro, but everything you're kind of seeing, it's jumping out, and it's, pass rush, like I said, isn't going to be a problem, which leads to the next comment by Stephen Jones talking about, I don't know if you guys saw, the fans were yelling and screaming for Micah to get paid at the opening kind of ceremony they did in Oxnard. Stephen says fans can yell all they want. It's not going to change anything. We want to pay Micah. He's got to want to get paid too, which the odd thing is Jerry kind of admitted that they really haven't had any conversation. So I don't know if this is all just, media hype and gamesmanship. Hopefully they are working behind the scenes, but yeah, kind of disappointed to see that. But on the other side of it, our boy Jake Ferguson, he got paid. So the Cowboys will pay some people. He signed a 4-year, $52 million contract. So he's getting paid. So that's always a good thing. I think locking up, and they did the right thing, right? Locking up a guy a little early, you're paying a little bit less in due time. Just you're going to bank on that he's going to reach that level. Did not have a great season last year, but who did on that team for the most part with all the injuries and everything like that? So I think my microphone. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? I just had to switch my microphone. Hold on one sec. Let me make sure. Give me a thumbs up, Rick, if you can hear, if I'm coming in all right, because I realized I didn't put my last mic on, but it sounds like it's good now. So hopefully you guys can see it. So anyway, I apologize. That's what I mean. I'm rusty. But it's good to get guys paid early, and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I think with Jake Ferguson, he is kind of the energy. They talked a lot about it. He's that energy, the guy that kind of gets everyone moving on offense, that nasty, kind of what George Pickens is going to bring, right? The dude is going to get in somebody's face. If he hits the quarterback, they're just going to slap someone around. If someone messes with the receiver, he's going to be there, called the enforcer. So I think it's a great signing. But I do agree with my man Vince. Just stay quiet. Just stay away from the media about Parsons. But they can't help themselves. You know that, Vince. That's in the Joneses' DNA. I think it runs in that whole family's DNA.
if they just stay quiet and just let business handle itself and just say, hey, we're focused on the players that are on the field, because Parsons is not holding out. He's there. They had their first padded practice today, and he wasn't in pads or helmets, so he was pretty much doing his thing, and that's just going to kind of be the way it's going to be. So you just got to, you know what, as fans, you hate to say it. I mean, I want them to get the deal done, but they're just going to have to focus on the guys that are on the field. And that's got to be Shoddy's take, and that's been his take, is the guys that are on the field practicing every day. That's what you got to focus in on. And I mean, Parsons is a difference maker. He's best defensive player in the NFL, arguably. So they'll get it done. But moving on to some other things, getting your guys' thoughts on the offensive line. Now, if you guys follow the channel, which hopefully you do, and if you don't, make sure you subscribe, because we got a lot of stuff going on. I've always, like the last year, I felt really good about our offensive line. I thought the young guys got playing time. I thought that offensive line got better as the year went on. And I thought by the end of the year, the running game was improving. Pass protection was improving. So I felt really good about this offensive line. Now they go out and they get Tyler Booker, best guard in the draft, right? Brings some attitude, comes from a perennial powerhouse in college football, part of, championships with Alabama. And so feel really good about that. And then you're seeing what Shoddy's doing. He's not anointing anything to anyone. It's competition. And you saw Rob Jones, the free agent that they signed, I believe, from Miami. He was getting some first team reps. Booker wasn't. So maybe it's sending a message to the young guy saying, hey, you're going to have to really, really earn it. Or maybe he hasn't looked as good in their eyes early on. I think all that'll be fine. But I do like their ability to have some competition, to create some depth. You see, Richards getting some reps at right tackle. So you see that going. So I think it creates great competition. And Span Ford, so he did hurt his ankle. Is that confirmed? Because I was watching Cowboys Can Fan, and we couldn't find it, but I trust the chat. I trust Twitter. So definitely. And Wanye, I was going to talk about Wanye. He was on my list, so we're going to get into that. That'll be disappointing if he misses any time, because I think he's got an opportunity to earn some playing time as well. And yeah, I love the offensive line. Oh, here we go. That must be an Eagles fan. Eagles fan trolling the Dallas Cowboys. I love it. I just heard leg. All right. Yeah. Hopefully nothing serious. Yeah. Todd Archer. I went on. I don't know why I couldn't see it, but I believe you, Rick. One thing I know about you, you ain't going to bullshit me. You tell the facts the way it is. So hopefully he's okay, because he's one of those guys that injuries has been a problem for him. Good young tight end, could be into that offense. Obviously if they run 2 tight end sets, he's got an opportunity. But if it don't work out, another injury, your best asset is availability. And if you ain't available, going to be a problem. So hopefully it's nothing big. Appreciate it. I did a video, but I did one about 4 years ago. I'm going to do a video breaking down some of the things. I've added a lot of stuff, changed things. I always redo the cave. If you guys notice last year, if you look under the jerseys, I had pictures going vertical and I changed them horizontal, brought the other sides vertical. It's all about the lines, but it's also, I like to change the mojo every year. And I don't want to change it this year, because once we win the Super Bowl, then I don't have to change it again. So hurry up and win a damn Super Bowl so I don't have to keep changing it, because then I'm superstitious. The way it is the way it stays. But when they, if they don't end the season good, I got to change it. So for 30 years, I've been changing everything. And I'm running out of options to change. So, the Cowboys need to win a Super Bowl. So definitely appreciate it. And Holy Terror, what's up? Doing the dishes. That's what we do on Sunday. You're doing the dishes. I made myself a little dinner. I got an hour to kill before Big Brother. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to chill. I'm going to talk to the fans, see what's happening. This is not like a normal show. This is very low key, interactive. Love to get your guys' opinion. Who's your standout people for the camp? Who are you looking at? Who are you kind of not feeling good about. Maybe they're disappointing you so far. I know it's practice, so it's really hard to get that kind of stuff. Hey, that's the one dude. He better be out there every day. He's fighting for a spot. I don't think he'll get a spot. I think his days might be numbered in Dallas unless something crazy happens. But talking about the running backs, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'll be honest. I was set to get Javonte Williams, Blue, and Maffa. They were going to be the three. But Miles Sanders, I mean, he might not have a chip on his shoulder. He might have a brick on his shoulder because he has been playing very well throughout training camp. That burst is back, obviously out of the backfield. He's a guy that he's a veteran. He's not going to go down quietly. So I thought the Javonte Williams would be the one, if you want to call it the workhorse, would be that workhorse. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out when they get to their scrimmage next week. And I've obviously preseason games that'll really tell the story in a lot of ways. So let's see what else we got in the chat. You got to find, I know I got to find the right setup. I think this is it. I don't know if you guys' opinion, like the way the jerseys are, I like that horizontal. And if you look at it, what I did, if you look under Aikman, it's kind of like the 90s and that 90s era, right? And then when you go over underneath Parsons, that's that 70s and 80s, the doomsday defense you see on that second picture. That one collage that you see just under Parsons, that's signed by everybody on that picture, all Hall of Famers, great Cowboy players, Ring of Honor. The only guy I'm missing is DeMarcus Ware. And he's a tough, he does signings and I've seen, but I always like to see them. I don't want to send it out. So that is the one that I got one piece left, and then I'm really going to mat that up and get that thing looking tight because that's a beautiful collage of Cowboys greatness. So definitely going to get that. But yeah, so I kind of try to get a little mix of those pictures, change the mojo a little bit. So definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that, Shane. And don't forget also Cowboys Cave tailgate party, 28th, Sunday night against the Packers, man. We are going to be out there. It's going to be fun. Lot 10. Everybody's welcome. We're going to have cuts cooking. Jeff might be bringing some pulled pork like he did last time. We'll check that out. We got the spaces. It's going to be we'll have alcohol. We're going to have a great time. If anyone is in the area and they're like, man, I ain't spending all that money on them tickets, because the tickets, Packer game is an expensive ticket. There's no doubt about it, because Packer fans travel like no other. So Cuts is setting up. We're setting up TVs out there. So I know a group is going to be hanging out at the tailgate during the game and just watching it. And then I'll be coming out for that victory party. We also have those commemorative paddles, because we'll be spanking that ass, that custom Cuts paddle. If you guys hadn't seen it on the show, look for Cuts. You guys know, I'm a man, Cuts by Jones, and check him out. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys do check that out. But talking about the running backs again, I mean, what are you looking at with the running backs? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Are you seeing something different with this running back group? What I've seen so far, they've been able to, again, they're not hitting, but I like the burst of Blue. Miles Sanders is looking good. Javonte Williams looks fine too. I think all of them. Maffa has looked. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they move that roster around. And that's why I said I think Deuce Vaughn's probably going to be the odd man out unless they do something crazy, unless there's obviously an injury or something like that. But that was one of the ones. And then I was talking about the cornerback situation. And I mean, it looks like Elam has looked the best. That we traded from Buffalo, from Florida, University of Florida. I hate the Gators, but that's all right. I'll let that slide, even though I'm a Hurricane. We're going to spank them earlier this season, too. It's going to be a great month of September for me. I can't wait. Got Notre Dame, slap the Eagles around, take care of the Giants. I'll be at that game. Take care of the Florida Gators. Cowboys Cave tailgate party. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a September to remember, and it's all leading up to my birthday in October. So this is going to be just a beautiful, beautiful segue into your boy's birthday. So I cannot wait. September can't get here fast enough. But anyway, did you really? 18, you farted? How did you fart? That's terrible. That's terrible. I saw that 18. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace. Terrible. Terrible thing. But anyway, no. So I can't wait for September. It's going to be a lot of fun. But the cornerback situation, you got Elam and you got Bland. And then the question's going to be who's going to be the slot cornerback? What kind of depth do they have? And they're throwing around, Wanye Thomas. Wanye Thomas could be, he's been used as safety, but he's been very versatile. They may use him as a slot corner. You're talking about Izzy could be there. So there's going to be some options for them. I'm sure Carson will have something to say about it. Ravel's coming off an injury. Diggs obviously coming off an injury. So you're wondering with their availability. So cornerback is the one position I've been watching most in camp. And you just got to hope that someone is going to step up. And Elam has really looked like the guy to step up. I think you're going to be fine with Bland, but you're going to need someone else to really step up. And that's what I'm hoping for. So I don't know about you guys, but Elam is looking good. The other position that we talked about is wide receiver. You've got obviously CD and Pickens. That's a no-brainer. Those guys are lights out. But who is going to be that third? Jonathan Mingo has looked really good in camp, catching everything. Tolbert, obviously, he's the incumbent. It's going to be hard to unseat him. But I think to Shotty's point, and what he always talks about at the press conference and what he's always talking about this team is competition makes everything better. What's up, Rolando? What part of Texas? Hopefully you're close enough to where you might be to the Cowboys Cape tailgate party. But anyway, Rolando, what's up, man? Great Sunday. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Like I said, man, I had a nice weekend. Then I scored free tickets. This has been a nostalgia kind of just a tough week if you're my era. I wasn't a big Ozzy Osbourne. I was more a fan of Ozzy's music later in life and more a fan of him later in life when he had the Osbourne show. I thought that was really funny. And that kind of got me to like Ozzy Osbourne. Wasn't really a fan of their music growing up. I was more into Miami bass, gangster rap, that kind of stuff. But as you get older, you kind of open yourself to all genre of music. So definitely liked Ozzy. That was tough. The Hogan one, I'm just going to be honest, the Hogan one hits me really hard. I mean, when you see my hype videos, I mean, you got to know there's some Hogan in that video. There's some Hogan in this blood. It was, as a more I've been reading about it, and he was from this area. So I posted a couple pictures. I was lucky enough to meet him, a few times out and about in the area. Seems like there was some things that maybe hopefully he could have helped himself, but unfortunately it didn't. And it's all about taking care of your body. But I think he pushed himself to the limits instead of maybe taking it easy for a few months, and probably didn't do him any good. But hopefully it gets better for the family and gets better for everyone else. It's been crazy because everything's been flooded with Hogan stuff all in this area. And I got myself watching some old clips, the Andre the Giant, when he slammed him, and then obviously he turned heel. We all got to see that. So it was really cool. But love me some Hulk Hogan, some Hollywood Hogan. You think Tolbert's going to get that spot? Part of me wants him to, but part of me hopes that Mingo is even better. If that makes any sense. I like Tolbert, but I just, he was good last year, and obviously with Cooper Rush, I mean, the season was a loss to begin with, and he put up like 6 or 7 touchdowns. He had some big catches. Hogan was our childhood. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, man, Hogan was it, man. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins. I mean, all that stuff that I used to think wrestling was real. I remember when Andre the Giant ripped his chain off, man, my brother and I were devastated. Like, how could Andre the Giant do this to Hulk Hogan, man? But yeah, anyway, I think for me, Tolbert, I know what I have with him, and I think we all know what we have with him, and it's fine. He's good. He's gonna be he's good 3. I'm just hoping that Mingo is better, and because I think that makes us even better, and then that makes Tolbert even better in his opportunities that he gets. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, yeah, we were talking about it, man. Shane, Easy E has looked really good. I mean, everything that I've seen, limited basis, but more importantly, what the media is saying, what the coaches are saying, what the players are saying. This guy looks like the real deal, and it just makes you wonder how he fell in the second round. They were talking about the defensive line coach White Cotton he was slamming the table for them to get him in the first round because he didn't think he'd fall to the second, and he fell to them. He's not a bigger guy. He's not he's not a huge guy. He would be really good, like with Parsons, if they ever ran a 3-4, he'd be phenomenal. But his bend and his explosiveness to get around the edge, I mean, it's been a good battle. He's been winning most of them against our tackles. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad, but we'll see what happens. Tolbert 3, Mingo 3.5. I can't complain. I mean, I think those are going to be your 4. I think that's pretty much what it's going to be. That one will be the 3, one will be the 4. And I think when you get to that point, it's all about matchups, hot hands, what's going on. But what I do like is competition is providing depth. So God forbid something were to happen to CD, missed a game, Pickens, I like the depth that we're creating. The competition's making these guys better to where it's like, oh, man, we're done. No, we can get by. It's the same thing with quarterback. You're seeing what Milton's doing. If something were to happen to Dak, I don't know about you guys. I feel I have much more hope with Joe Milton under center than I did Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush was, to me, he was a quarterback that if you needed a game or two, he was fine. But as time goes on, teams, scheme towards him, figure him out. He gets his play goes down and down and down and down. So as my man Cuts in the house, we're just hyping up. Make sure that's the man, the myth, the legend. We talked about those paddles when I came in. He's the guy you want to hook up with, man. Get that Cowboys Cave paddle. I need to get a picture to be able to put on here. That's probably my fault. But you want to get that paddle because we're going to be spanking that ass. That's the Cowboys Cave theme for the Cowboys in 2025. We are going to spank that ass. First ass going to be spanked is going to be Philly. So get your paddle early. That way you have it in hand. So week 1, spank that ass. That's what you do. That's what we're going to do. We're handling that business. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's see what else we got. Another D Ware. I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Famer. You're talking one about the greatest defensive ends in NFL history. There's a lot of similarities, but we got to see it for a few years. But I see some similarities in body type. I see some similarities in how that is. So definitely can see that. And shit, if he's half as good as DeMarcus Ware, I think we're in a good spot. But anyway, what else we got? No drinking, man. I'm easy. But when we talk about the Eagles and you talk about, week 1, and we got plenty of time to talk about it, it wouldn't surprise me if Dallas wins. I expect Dallas to win. Dallas is 9-4. Dak Prescott's 9-4 against Philly. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, he's got a very good record, and I'm sure Jalen Hurts' record is decent against Dallas, so it'll be a good game. And you're going to have 2 teams. Philly's guy has the edge. Clearly, they have the edge. They're defending Super Bowl champions. They're at home. The Cowboys are going to have to play midseason form football. Some of the things that you could say, if you just looking at it, being objective, if I'm going to play the best team, I'd rather play in week 1 than week 10. Because I think all these teams come week 1, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, most of them don't play in preseason. Look at the practices. There's a couple padded practices, and there's really not any hitting. So week 1 is like go live for most of these players. I mean, go live. It's football speed. So I would never bet on week 1. And if you ever listen to Uncle Cheech or Vegas Insider, he'll tell you the same. Never bet on week 1 because you just don't know. If there's going to be upsets, there's going to be some funky things that can happen. It'll be week 1. And that's just the way it is. So we must be in your minds because you're in the Cowboys chat and you're in the Cowboys shows. And I saw on Cowboys Can Fan, there's Eagles there. If you find me in an Eagles chat, I want you to snapshot it and I'll give you $1,000. Unless I'm doing a show, unless I'm invited by an Eagles content creator, I have never once stepped and listened to 2 seconds of Eagles. So you may be better because I don't know, because I don't listen to anything about the Eagles. I don't even know who you have. I know your stars, but I couldn't name you 2 linebackers. I can name you 1. That's a dude from Georgia, right? Dean. Is that his name? I don't really care about the Eagles. I don't even think about them. But you guys think about the Cowboys. That's the weird thing with Eagle fan. Weird thing with Eagle fans is they have the D on their mind 24/7, and it really doesn't make any sense. But I understand. It's what you call little brother syndrome. You're always wanting to get validation. You want me to say, you guys are great. You guys are this. You want Cowboy fans to say that so you feel better. You're the defending Super Bowl champions. You got nothing to prove to anybody. You have nothing to beg for validation. You got your validation. But at the end of the day, it's a new season. It's a new season. Eagles beat Dallas last year twice. You guys are riding on that like it's some big accomplishment. Who'd they beat? They beat Cooper Rush. I mean, if that's something you're proud of, then be proud of it. Be proud of it. I'll just worry about what Dak Prescott does against Jalen Hurts. His record, I think, is pretty good against him. And it's pretty good against the Eagles overall. So we're going to roll the ball out. We're going to see what happens. And I said the Cowboys are going to split with Philly. If we beat you week 1, we're going to sweep you. If you beat us, we'll beat you in Dallas on the 23rd because it's going to be a easy week for us. So anyway, I digress. We'll go back to it. And maybe you go back to back. I personally, I talked about this yesterday. I had a good chat. I was down at the Hard Rock. And, I wear my Cowboys. I got my Cowboys swim shorts. So I always attract some attention no matter where I go. And I had a great conversation talking football. And the problem with Philly, and it's not a knock, this is just reality. The reason it's hard for me to believe that they're going to be a dynasty or they're going to be back-to-back, and they could be. But the reason it's hard for me to really do that, where I could do it with Mahomes, I could do it with the Chiefs, I could do it with the Patriots, they don't have a quarterback. Their quarterback's okay. He's a game manager. He doesn't screw it up. He's a good kid. I think it's high character. He's a good leader. But if you have to win the game on his shoulder, it's not happening. And that's not a knock on it. That's just reality. It's just not going to happen. So that's where I say, when I look at dynasties of teams, and when you look at the Patriots in that run they had, they had Tom Brady. You look at what the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to do to go to the Super Bowl year in and year out. You got Patrick Mahomes. If you look at what Dallas did in the 90s, well, you had Troy Aikman. You look at the 80s, you had Joe Montana. You look at the 70s, you had Roger Staubach, and you had Terry. You had Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Top quarterbacks in the NFL. The Eagles don't have a top 10 quarterback. And again, it's not, don't get all offended. Don't cry. Don't bitch and moan about it. It's a compliment because they got a very well-rounded team. But the problem with that is it's sustainability over time. And that just is not a recipe for success over time. It's you have that 1-year wonder, Baltimore Ravens, 1-year wonder, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1-year wonder. When they had that defense and you had Brad Johnson lead them. Brad Johnson was a good quarterback. Wasn't a great quarterback. No knock on him. Same thing with the Ravens. Ravens did it with Flacco. Not a great quarterback. Was a good quarterback. The Ravens Did it with Trent Dilfer. Not a great quarterback, was an all right quarterback. That's just the reality of it. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, that's not my opinion. Go ask anybody who's not an Eagle fan and just ask them. I mean, that's just the reality of it. But I wish them well. No, I don't. I hope they get their ass whooped every week. So what do you want me to say? So anyway, I digress, but I always love good banter. And like I said, I did this show today just really more interactive. Whenever I'm by myself, I like just talking to the chat. It's like talking to the chat. So there, Arthur agrees with me. Arthur agrees with me. So, and you got to have that balance. You got to have that balance. Dan Marino, they were there every year. But without Marino, they would have won like 3 games. I mean, they had nothing. I mean, that was a fault of Don Shula, and I love Don Shula, one of the greatest coaches, but they just did a very poor job of getting Marino a running game. And it was just, there were so many running backs. And I grew up down in South Florida at that time. So, I mean, you thought it'd be Lorenzo Hampton. Then they had Mark Higgs. You had Sammy Smith they drafted in the first round. And you had, obviously, Tony Nathan, near the end of, the middle of his career. Not really the end of his career. It was just so many. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't understand why they never got him a running back. Because I think from a passing standpoint, one of the best pure passers I've ever seen. I mean, just throwing that football. I mean, he was ahead of his time, because that's the thing. We talked about numbers too. When I was talking to these guys, they were talking about, the numbers of today. And I said, that's why you can't compare eras. The only guy that you can compare his numbers to this era was Dan Marino. I mean, he was throwing for 5,000 yards when quarterbacks, a huge year for a quarterback. I mean, an all-pro year was 3,000 yards. That was like unbelievable if you threw for 3,000 yards. That was Pro Bowl. That could be an all-pro, all of that. I mean, he was throwing for 5,000 yards in that era. He'd probably throw for 7,000 yards in this era. I mean, he could sling it like no other. And they did waste Marino. I mean, it was sad. I mean, he was phenomenal. And I mean, to this day, I mean, you're going back, I mean, to the 80s. And if you go to a Dolphins game, I will bet you'll probably I bet you'd find more Marino jerseys than anyone else. I mean, he's still an icon. I mean, he's still everything to that city, because they just haven't sniffed success. And that was a crazy thing, is when I got in that argument with that person, on that video, there were a Dolphins fan criticizing my team. I mean, they hadn't won a playoff game since 96. And Jimmy Johnson was the coach. I mean, they had won a Super Bowl in 71. So, and that is one of the, I call, iconic franchises in NFL history. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, it blows my mind that they have not had the success over the last 30 plus years. I mean, it's crazy, because Florida attracting free agents, no tax, no state income tax. You get a high percentage of players in the NFL lived and grew up in Florida. So there's so many things that attract you to go to Florida. I just can't believe that they haven't been able to put it together. But the reason why is quarterback. No quarterback, no shot. And they just have not been able to get a consistent quarterback. And you look at Tua Tua just can't stay healthy. I mean, they got all the weapons, but they, just can't stay healthy. Can't stay healthy. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, got sidetracked, but that's what the chat does. The chat gets me sidetracked, and we'll be able to do it. But last thing, talked about is obviously this was their first practice, was today with the pads on, with the helmets on. I mean, now but they're not hitting. I mean, they're hitting, but they're not hitting. And that's what I'm saying, is like, we all got to just kind of, temper our expectations in what we're seeing, because you're seeing a lot of things that it's not, full go. If you're seeing big passes, well, Are they calling sacks? Are they, they're moving around? Would it be a sack? I saw Dak scramble. I had some videos to throw up, but I got too busy doing other stuff. I got stuck watching TV, so I never put it over to my computer. But you see some runs, which was good. I saw Dak scramble and run for 20 yards and kind of get touched or whatever. So you're seeing good things from them as you're seeing Dak injury far removed from that, moving around in the pocket's good, doing all the things he needs to do. One thing he talked about was his work life. And I mean, it's something to be said. I mean, I'm a father, and a lot of you guys are, and I always look at my life before my kids and when I had my kids, and I was a much different person. I wasn't as mature and get my stuff together as when I had my first kid, right? That kind of put everything in perspective and put my priorities in check and made you balance work life, personal life, and maybe that'll be a good thing for him. I mean, maybe it's a good thing for a lot of these players, as you've seen the Breezes and you see, Peyton Manning, some of the guys that took a little time to get that Super Bowl. You just don't know. I don't know what's in people's minds. So, but he seemed to talk pretty good about it. So it was good to hear. He seems really focused. The injury, I think that's out of his mind, which is the most important thing, because you're talking about injuries. You're looking at Diggs and you're looking at Ravel, the cornerbacks. And that's the thing that worries me the most is not the physical part, but the psychological. Can they come back from those injuries mentally and be ready to go to play that position? Because that is one of the most important things you need is your speed, agility, and everything else in it. So anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to chill with you guys for 40 minutes. I got to get ready. My shows are on. The dogs are barking. I got things to do, but definitely love you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate 150 you guys hanging with me on a Sunday at like 6 or 7:30, whatever time you're in. Definitely appreciate the love. We'll be back live. Normal shows will be Monday. Me and Jimmy Dee. We'll be talking more around the NFL, more training camp. And then Kelly and I will be back later in the week. Greg and I are going to get closer to getting that Sunday morning thing going. Just got to give me a few more weeks. I got to drop my daughter off at college in a couple of weeks. So these weekends have been a little crazy, but we're going to get it good. And remember, if you're watching from Twitter, Shane, make sure you jump over to YouTube and hit that subscribe, help your boy out. But either way, I do appreciate it. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow night. Enjoy the evening. Peace.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.